Hey guys, what's going on, dudes? It is David here. We are back with another video. Now, in this video, guys, we shall be discussing the Inter Milan vs Udinese match that just finished up a couple hours ago. As I'm recording this, Inter Milan picked up the win 2-1 over Udinese, and we're going to go over the match, and we're going to go over who was really the man of the match and why this win was so important for Inter Milan when it comes to remaining games. Because the last 3 games of the season for Inter Milan are going to be Empoli, Cagliari, and Sampdoria. Those final 2 games, I know for sure, are going to be tough for Inter Milan. The reason why I know these games are going to be tough for Inter Milan is because Cagliari is fighting to stay up and not get relegated from the Serie A, and Sampdoria just always seemed to give us a problem. I think out of the remaining games that we had, Sampdoria was the only one to actually draw against us in the previous matchup. So I guess that's kind of a good thing when it comes to the Cagliari game. Empoli, I want to say we should worry about Empoli, but I'm not really worried. But as long as we don't play Radu, we're good. Because last week, Inter Milan should really be 1 point ahead of AC Milan. But Radu, with that horrible goalkeeper error, I feel so bad for him because it was his fault. But it's the fact that there's going to be a lot of pressure on him now next time he starts, because everybody's going to remember him if Inter Milan don't lose the title for that mistake. And everybody's going to look at him and say, like, if he didn't make that mistake, Inter Milan would have won the Serie A title. And it's true. But enough about last week. Let's talk about this week. Inter Milan beat Udinese by a score of 2-1 with the goals coming from Perisic and a Lautaro Martinez penalty. Now, the penalty was really debatable. Because I've seen it, I watched the highlights, and I've seen it. And it does not look like a penalty to me. It looks like he barely clips Dzeko, and Dzeko just makes a whole big deal out of it. Because Dzeko kind of jumped over him, and then when Dzeko saw that his foot was coming in, Dzeko was like, oh, let me just fall to the ground and see if I can get a penalty. He ended up getting the penalty. Lautaro Martinez missed the penalty, but then he got the rebound and scored off a header, and that gave us the 2-0 lead at the time. The first goal by Perisic, which is a spectacular goal coming off a corner. And I just want to say this. I don't know what it is about Inzaghi, but Perisic has been in a rebirth form. And even Lautaro Martinez, the past couple games, he's been our best striker. And the funny thing is, I've seen rumors talking about Inter Milan possibly selling a big-name player. And the most likely big-name player is Lautaro Martinez. If he continues this goal-scoring thing, if he continues this goal-scoring record, it can't be him. It can't be him. It can't be him. I'd rather have Lautaro Martinez and Joaquin Correa there because they have a lot more chemistry on the pitch because they're both Argentinians. But that's not for me to decide. Inter Milan had 52.2% of the possession. Udinese had 47.8% of possession. And I just wanted to go back real quick. The Udinese goal, Pusetto, is the one that scored it. But what an unbelievable save from Samir Handanovic. I feel so bad for him that the rebound, when he saved, came right to the Udinese player. They just crossed it in, and when Pusetto literally just tapped it in past, I forgot the Inter Milan defender that was there, but Lautaro Martinez was on the ground with Handanovic. But Handanovic, unfortunately for him, he did not get to keep a clean sheet, but that save was absolutely spectacular. The man of the match, we'll get on to that later. But the stats, Inter Milan had 12 shots with 5 being on target. Udinese had 7 shots with 3 being on target. So far, it's been a decent Inter Milan game. It was a decent game for Udinese. Inter Milan had 20 tackles won compared to Udinese's 14 tackles won. Barella did come off at the end of the game with a limp. So we have to literally look at that because Barella's one of our most important players. He's one of the guys that leads that midfield when it comes to Inter Milan. So I was kind of sad to see that coming off towards the end of the game. But like I said, Inter Milan are still 2 points off Milan. And Milan, I don't even know Milan's schedule for the remaining part of games, but I just want to say this. I'm very happy Inter Milan won this game. If Inter Milan had even drawn this game, the title would have been over because it's highly doubtful that Milan is going to drop points, but anything is possible with 3 games remaining in the Serie A. But when it comes to the men of the match for the Inter Milan versus Udinese game, the man of the match has to be the second goal scorer, and that was Lautaro Martinez. He was just a threat all day, all during the game before he came off of the pitch for his substitutions, because we also have to focus on the cup final that's coming up. I think it's the Coppa Italia final that we're going to be playing against. I think it's going to be, I want to say it's Napoli, or is it Napoli? I don't really know who we're playing in the Coppa Italia final, but this game was a must-win for Inter. It was a must-win for Lautaro Martinez. It was a must-impress for Lautaro Martinez, because I don't want to get him sold, because I feel like once he's sold, we're going to lose a very good goal scorer in Lautaro Martinez. And you guys know how much I love Lautaro Martinez as a player. I do not want Inter Milan selling Lautaro Martinez. But after these past performances, and he's been on a goal scoring, he's been scoring goals in the past couple of matchups, I think that this is slowly showing the Inter owners and the Inter board of directors that they shouldn't sell Lautaro Martinez, and that should be another big name player that's possibly sold, possibly even Stefan de Vrij, because he's getting up there in age. Lautaro Martinez is not even yet in his prime yet. Stefan de Vrij is, what, 29, about to be 30? He's in his prime, so now is the best time to get money for him before he exits his prime, and then he's going to be lowered in value. And even Perisic, because Perisic has not signed a new contract yet. Perisic has recaptured his form. He scored the first goal. He's been doing very, very well. He's been one of our most important players when it comes to the games. I feel like it's him, Lautaro Martinez, Dzeko, Skriniar, and Brozovic are our 4 or 5 most important players when it comes to the Inter Milan matchups that have been happening in the past couple of weeks. But when it comes to this game, when it comes to Inter Milan for the rest of the season, Inter Milan must win all remaining games in order to capture the Serie A title. Otherwise, AC Milan will win the title. But when it comes to today's game, Inter Milan against Udinese, Inter Milan got the best of Udinese. But that is it for today's video, guys. I will see you guys all later. Peace.